Hey everybody, it's Andy. Welcome back to my weekly show where I help you build a career you love. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the right mentors and coaches. And actually, more accurately, this talk is going to be about how to evaluate these coaches and trainers and mentors and people you invite into your life to teach you. So I hope you're buckled up. We got a lot of fun today. I got 9 big points I want to run over. If you are here with me live, get in the chat. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of the questions because the chat gets pretty lively. And if you're watching me on the recording, welcome to you too. So I got some questions a while back about how to find the right trainers for yourself. And we want to know if they're good. We want to know if they're good for you. And it made it on its way to my list of things to talk about with you, except it got elevated recently because about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed and there was a sponsored ad, and there she was, this online marketing guru who was doing one of the morning talk shows. It was a clip cut out, a little video clip cut out from that show, and she was speaking with the host about how this is such a great world that we live in today because anybody who has a cell phone and an internet connection can go out online and sell their services and their expertise to the world. And while that is technically true, what was going through my head was, oh dear Lord, I am going to have to move this. I'm going to have to move this session up in the queue because I'm worried about my people and what this could do to them if they're not finding the right one. So that's why we're talking about it today and not in July. So sometimes these things just happen. All right, so I want to go through basically 9 key points, areas that I want you to be aware of. Some of them you probably know, but I want to try to add my own little flavor to them. Some of them I think are probably a little deeper than others, but let's dive right in. Let's dive right in. So why are you looking for them in the first place, right? Let's talk about why we even do this. I have 7 or 8 coaches that I rely on for various things, but basically it's one of 2 reasons, right? You have a problem or you have an aspiration. A lot of you that are here with me now that are looking to find the next job or amp up your leadership skills or something of that nature, you have a gap in your life and you want it solved, so you go out and you look for help. Makes perfect sense. I do the same thing. And then others, I want to open a business. I want to learn how to play an instrument. Whatever it might be, you have an aspiration. So that's what leads you to go out and start surfing the internet and YouTube and places like that. And it's easy to find these experts. Some of them have books and blogs and podcasts and things and YouTube channels, obviously. Others are a little less robust in their platform or their offerings, but nonetheless, there's a lot of them out there and it leads to confusion. So these are the 9 things that I want you to look for when you start evaluating people to determine if they're a good coach or mentor or trainer for you. So first thing, note cards, baby. All right, knowledge and tactics. While this may sound pretty obvious, right? Pretty obvious, I guess. Is what they're saying, but I want to teach you how to look at what they're saying to know if it's going to resonate with you for a sustained period of time. So certainly we want somebody to be knowledgeable on what it is that they're speaking about. And I always think that the 2 easiest ways is, you got to try it and you got to see if it's working. But even before you try it, right? Because you don't know if when you try it, if it's going to work. And some of these things, they take a while. Some could take days, weeks, months, or whatever, and you might not know. So what I always tell people to look for is, first thing is, are they opening your eyes to new ways of thinking about something? Are these tactics insightful? Are they literally eye-opening? Are they sharing with you something you might not otherwise know that makes sense to you, based on what they're saying? That's one thing. Are they giving you that insider view? That kind of stuff. The other thing is even easier, and if you find yourself saying this to yourself over and over again, it's usually a pretty good sign. And that's, are they tapping into you in a manner where you keep saying to yourself, yeah, that's obvious. I can see that. That makes sense. But maybe it didn't make sense until they mentioned it. Now, I got a funny story. I don't know if he's here with us live, but there is a wonderful guy, Chris. He is in my job search boot camp program, and every time somebody joins a job search boot camp or my job search boot camp, they get a welcome packet. And then, after they get the welcome packet and we show them around the place, the next day they get an email from me that says, please share your story with me. And I have some questions. I want to know about them. I want them to give me some detail. He writes me this wonderful email. I start reading it, and he said, I started following you a few months back. Really love what you were saying. And I found myself, as I would listen to you, you would say something, and then I would say, yeah, that's so obvious. He said, but what really was interesting for me was that it wasn't obvious until you said it. So what teachers, what coaches, what trainers should be doing for you is pulling forward things that you do know, but getting you more mindful of them. That's always a good sign. So keep your eye out for that. Now, second thing, this is really a multi-pronged thing. Results and testimonials. Now, these are actually different things, but I want to talk about them in the same breath. So results and testimonials. So what do I mean by this? Well, if you really think about it, my results as a coach, or anybody's results as a mentor and a trainer and a coach or an influencer in your life, are not the number of followers they have or how big their social media platform is or how many people are on their email list or even how much revenue they make or generate. The results are really found in your results. So I am only successful as a coach and a mentor to you if I can ultimately help you put that nice resume together that does lead to job interviews, that does lead to job offers, and so on. If that's what you're looking for from me is guidance in finding your next job or growing your career. So my results and really my measurement of success lies in your results. You will notice that the trainer is very, very focused on that. But the other thing that comes along with that are the testimonials. Is there proof? And I want to be very specific about what type of proof to look for. For testimonials from people that have worked with that coach in the past, what do the testimonials say? So the first thing is, you want to see the testimonials, and the types of testimonials that you want to see are actual social proof. You don't want to just look for a bunch of testimonials that are written there in text on somebody's website. Anybody could make those up, and in fact they do, just like they buy followers and all these other things. It's really a crazy racket. But that's what a lot of trainers will do, especially people who are starting out early where they don't have a lot of testimonials. But you need to look for, is there social proof? Why do you think I show you clip outs from the YouTube channel and my LinkedIn platform and Twitter and Facebook and emails that I get? These are real live testimonials. But beyond the testimonial, look for what the person is saying. Is the person talking just about the tactics? Is the person talking about how the trainer or coach made them feel? Did they inspire confidence in them? Did they give them that inspiration to try or push forward or get there faster because they got more aggressive? The trainer needs to be able to do that. So look at the context of the testimonial as well. That's very important for you to notice how the person who is giving you that testimony actually felt about working with that person. Very important. It's not just that they have testimonials, it's what's in the testimonial. How about this one? I'll tell you what, the delivery is incredibly important. Just because you are an expert does not mean that you are a great teacher, a great coach, a great trainer, a great mentor, or whatever. Think about everything that has to occur in order for somebody who has knowledge to be able to get you to take that knowledge and implement it and become successful. Going back to the results I was just mentioning, it's in the packaging. Think about what has to happen. If I have knowledge about job searching, I have to reverse engineer my knowledge, package it up in a manner that I can deliver it to you. You can digest it, understand what I'm saying, take the tools, the tactics, the steps, whatever it is, the process, actually implement it and get results. That's about 7 or 8 things that has to happen. So just because somebody is knowledgeable doesn't mean they're going to be a great teacher. So you need to look for the packaging. There is a huge chain there of events that has to occur. Here again, going back to the results, back to the testimonials, you'll have a better inclination of whether that teacher is able to package it. The other thing is, a lot of you very quickly will know, do you like the delivery? Does that person resonate with you? Is there some chemistry and connection there? Believe me, that is a big deal. How about this one? This is a big one. Yes, I did my fancy hearts. I think I'm going to give this card to my wife. I hope she's not watching right now because I wanted it to be a surprise. But do they actually love it? And there's a couple things they got to love. They have to love the subject matter because they want to, you want them teaching about it, and you want them teaching about it for a sustained period of time. But do they love teaching? Do they love teaching? So I have a number of trainers whose programs, or I've followed their free stuff, or whose programs I've invested in, or a combination of all of that. And I notice that some of them, to me, they don't appear to love what they're doing. And if they don't appear to love what they're doing, that's bad. You're right no matter what. Even if you're wrong, you're right. So think about that. Does the person, the trainer, appear to love the subject matter? Are they just oozing with joy? Now, I see some trainers, they're smart, they know their stuff, but they don't, the way they deliver it is in a very condescending manner or a very hurried manner. Or they don't, they try to hurry it over. They really, and you kind of feel icky, like you don't really care about me. And then I see other trainers who you can tell they absolutely love what they're doing, so much so that it leaps out of their chest right through the camera into you, and you can feel it. And even some of these trainers that I watch, some of the ones training that I take, or other people in my space, I see trainers who love what they're doing. They're quite smart. Maybe their delivery is not as smooth as some of the others, more knowledgeable or who have been doing this longer. But it is a real good clue, and that person whose delivery is not that smooth will get better. That's easier to overcome than overcoming the lack of love and joy that subject brings you and the teaching brings you. So keep an eye on that. How about this one? Are they available on a consistent basis? This is huge. This is huge now. It's way easy for me to do this. I turn the lights on, I hit the button, right? Zoom, we can be together in instants. So is the trainer offering you his or her time, even if it's paid time? I'm talking about being available to connect with you, being able to interact with you. Time and availability is also demonstrated in their response to your questions. And I'm a little bit harsher when I'm paying for something than when I'm putting it out on a YouTube channel or on a blog, because there's only so many hours in the day, and these trainers should be taking care of their paid people first, paid members of their programs. But is the trainer available? I'll tell you a true story here. I bought a lot of training from a lot of really smart men and women over the years, and some of the training was pretty good. I watched the recorded videos, I went through the online stuff, and I did all the things. But the trainer was never available. Or when I actually asked questions, I would get ridiculous answers from probably some new person who didn't know what they were doing or how to support us or me or the rest of the community. That trainer was just really never available. And I will tell you this, because this is really important. The trainer that I have continued to stay with, that I rely on for my personal growth, my marketing tactics, some of the other things that I like to learn about my business, he is the most followed, has the best programs, is available every month via multiple programs that he has. I pay for different types of programs that I get to see him every single month. And he is there teaching and answering our questions. And this guy has the most followers and probably the biggest base of all the trainers that I've been through, the 20 or so that I've taken training from over the years. So the size of the audience, the community, the whatever, is not an excuse for not being available. So that's a big one. And then this one is really an extension of availability, but I actually want to throw it into a different category. While being available and having, your time and taking time out to answer your community and your members, your paying members' questions, are they generous in what they give you? Now, the generosity to me starts with the free stuff that they offer. Is it good? Is it high quality? Did care and thought go into it? Is it giving me enough where, don't just give me some dumpy old checklist that isn't going to help me, right? That's free. I opted in. I gave you my name. You didn't give me anything of real value. I want booklets, man. I want templates. I want processes. I want things of that nature. And I will tell you that trainer that I was referring to, the one that I continue to follow, not only does he give us the most free stuff and is live for us on a free and paid basis the most. This is a guy, I just got done telling you, I go to his monthly sessions. I was in one a few months back, and I get in there and I engage because I want to take advantage of the training. And I pay, in one of the programs I pay $50 a month. The other program I pay $100 a month. And in the $100 a month program, I was in there and I was asking a question. He took the question, he started answering it. And what he does is he actually gives things away during his session. And he gave me a $2,000 course that I went through soup to nuts. That was amazing. He was putting this brand new course together. He was selling it. There was a beta group and all that. He gave it to me for free. I'm talking generosity up the gazoo. But you can see that. Are there a lot of free programs? Are real free engagement? Not like I said, dumpy checklists. So, I've got something I'm going to show you here in a little while. And one of the things that I shared inside the little thing I'm going to give you is just really about considering what people need. And, I call it moving the free line. I feel like I want to be pushing the boundary of what I'm willing to give away that people call me nuts. If I don't have enough people calling me nuts for what I give away, I'm not giving away enough stuff. And that's how you ought to think. So as you look at the trainers in these different programs, whether you're looking for your health and your wellness or your diet or learning how to play instruments or whatever it is, leadership, career coaching, whatever it is, there should be an ample amount of stuff, and it ought to come across in various platforms. So does the coach, speak your platform? Are they speaking via the modality that you love? So I've got, I'm happy to read people's books. I can't even find them anywhere. I can't see them. They don't have a podcast. That's fine. It's their life. They get to do whatever they want. But is your trainer available through the medium that you want? You want to read it? Great. Books, blogs, magazine articles, or whatever. You want to listen to it on a podcast? That's great, but you could also listen to the YouTube recordings on in your car. I do that all the time. But are they where you want them via the modality that you want? People learn via different mediums. So are they aligning to the modality that you want? And then let's round it out with a couple here. These are really important though. Does it appear as though the trainer's values are in alignment with yours? This is going to be a bit unique to everyone, but I subscribe to the abundance theory. I subscribe that there's enough to go around. It's not, you don't need to lose for me to win. There's a lot, honesty and integrity. All these other things in the way in which you are counseled in what to do. How many times do I say, you're always going to hear me say honesty first? I mean, these are things that really come across. Are they shifty and shady, or are they aligning to the values that you want? And then to round you out, I saved this one for last because I think this is the biggest deal of all. But do they inspire you, and do they build confidence in you? I got news for you, and I don't know that I've ever said this, but I want you to, I want you to write this down. I literally want you to write this down or pause the thing and keep looping this for what I'm about to say, because this is the biggest acid test of all. The best teachers, trainers, coaches, the best, they will get you to look at yourself with a new set of eyes that sees nothing but hope and confidence. If they don't do that, they are not worthy, or they should not have the privilege of teaching you. If I don't do that for you, then you should stop following me. But that is the ultimate test. I want to make sure, while I'll give you the tools and the tactics and all that stuff, and any trainer can, but if that trainer does not instill in you the confidence to take that teaching and those processes and protocols and inspire you to go and do it, whether that's to go do something that you might not have otherwise done, or if it's to go do something that you would have done anyway, but now you are going to go do it with more confidence or more aggression to take that step and the subsequent steps that it will take to get to where you want to go, that's your ultimate test. That's why I want you to show up each week, right? I mean, we've got a lot of good stuff that we give you, and a lot of good tactics, and a lot of good booklets, and a lot of good paid programs, and all that other stuff. But if your confidence level is not being raised and you do not see hope, then I'm not doing my job, and neither is the other trainers that you're following. So I hope that serves you. So check those 9 things. I'm not going to replay them for sake of speed here, because I want to show you a few other things, and then I want to get to some of your questions. But I hope you enjoyed that. Those are the things I would look out for. Those are the things that I think are going to tell you whether the trainers or the coaches or the mentors are not only good, but good for you. And so if you are here with me, we're going to go to the chat. If you're watching me on the recording, I'll see you next week. For those of you who are here with me live, I've got a couple of quick announcements. I want to, one thing that I want to point you to. I don't know if you guys have taken my Master Your Craft Challenge. Maybe, Kara, I would love for you to put this link in the chat. I have this little 9-day challenge. It's called Master Your Craft. I want you to become the best you can be, and one of those steps of the 9 steps is building what I call your Franken mentor. And this booklet is really cool. It's got a lesson. It's got a link to a short video that's clipped out. It's got an area for you to take some notes and ponder these things. You get an email from us each day if you want, for 9 days, with the little lesson in it and a clip to the video and all that good stuff. Check that out. One other thing that I wanted to mention is last week I mentioned that we have a Mile Walk Academy calendar of live events. If you go to the Mile Walk Academy, actually, Kara, could you drop that in the chat as well? If you go to the Mile Walk Academy page, up at the top, there's a link that says live calendar, or you can go to milewalkacademy.com/calendar, and there is a Gmail, Google Calendar that we created that has placeholders for all the live events that I have. So like today's live office hours, next week's live office hours, and so forth. And boot camps and my leadership monthly and my special events and all that stuff. It's a few months out, and you can sync it automatically with your personal calendar of choice, whether you got a Gmail calendar or iCal or Outlook or whatever. It's very, very cool. You can check that out on the front page. That way you will never miss a live event. And one other thing that I built that I'm kind of geeked up about, and it's this 20-pager. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm actually going to pull it up. I decided, you know what, websites are nice, but I wanted you all, because we get a lot of questions. Do you have this? Have you built that? So on and so forth. Where can I find you? Where can I follow you? And I thought it might be nice to package everything together and give you a booklet of everything, all the goodness that is the Mile Walk Academy. And it's a little more personal. I wrote you a letter. I'm going to show you what's inside of it. But this way you have it. You can see the career development stuff. You can see the leadership stuff. You can see my books. You can see the blog. You can see the calendar. You can access everything from the brochure. And here it is real quick. I just want to buzz through it. And all you need to do here, you don't even need to put your name or email address in. You just need to click a button. But it's a page. I wrote you a letter, and I really, I really want to connect with you. I really want to put this stuff I want to put context around what we do and how we do it. There's a wonderful little table of contents here. You can look at all the different free stuff. You can look at all, the calendars in there. You can click on the links to find me on social. There's a free book. Interview Intervention is free. You can access that. You can learn a little bit about the other books. You can get a little history on the blog. You can get my philosophy on free coaching services that we offer. This is kind of a big deal to me here. What it is that I look at and how I consider the stuff that I give away. There's some stuff on live office hours. There's special events that are free events that you can come to. There's some of the recorded webinars, video series. You get the idea. And then there's write-ups on, the different programs. And, if you want to learn a little bit more about the boot camp and the accelerator program and the leadership monthly and my one-on-one coaching, there's the calendar of live events and there's some nice things that people are saying. But you get the idea. And, so it's free. You don't even need to give us your email. You just go to the Mile Walk Academy website. It says, you can say get catalog. Kara can put the link in the chat. You click it and it drops it right to your computer and it opens up in your browser and you can save it. I don't want you to forget Interview Intervention. If you chip in $7 for shipping and handling, you get the book, the ebook, the audio book. You get another ebook that's $27 called How to Interview the Employer, 75 Great Questions to Ask Before You Take Any Job. And the last thing I want to tell you is I got a live boot camp session tomorrow. For those of you who are in it, I'll see you there. For those of you who are not and interested in getting in, please join because I'm going over the high value activities in your search and how to look at them, what to do, and all that good stuff. And then it's really a couple of hour Q&A tomorrow at noon Eastern time. All right. Whew! That's pretty quick. How am I doing? All right, let's see. All good, all good? Who's here? Mom's here. Kathy, how are you, Kathy? It's sunny where we are today, my dear. Isn't that awesome? When you live in Chicago, you don't get a lot of sunny days here. And they're getting fewer and fewer. Hey, Carrie. Oh, got a question? Carrie Freeman, right out of the chute. I love it. Andy applied for a posted position 10 days ago and also emailed the hiring official. When and or is it okay to follow up to be sure they got my email? Carrie, here's my protocols. First, I don't know if you applied via the applicant tracking system. I would have gone, it said you sent an email to the hiring official. Awesome. So you said and also. Okay, that's great. I like to give people 7 days, then I hit them. Then I go 7 more days, I hit them again. And then I go 2 weeks out, and third time's a charm, or it's time to mail it in. So that's what I do for that one. CCC Cranford. Hello from a newbie. Can we give CCC Cranford, I don't know if it's Ranford, Cranford, 4 C's, or whatever. Hope you are enjoying your first show. Can we give him him or her a live office hours hug? Emma, how are you? Good to see you. I wonder what time it is by you. Maybe it's dinner time. Johnny Stevens. Johnny Stevens, I'm wondering if you are the Johnny Stevens. I have some killer email from you in my queue. It's still in my inbox. I read what you sent me. I absolutely gushed and loved it. And I am going to reply to you if you're the Johnny Stevens who sent me that, and I'm guessing you are. But I did get it, my friend. I want to thank you for sharing it. I love that stuff. I save that stuff. I read it all. And I to that kind of message, I will reply. All right. Kristen, how you doing? Melanie, how you doing? Give me your hashtags. Kristen, Melanie, come on, my boot campers. Kathleen's here. Good to see you. Is it as sunny out like in Southern California? Can you see that? Oh, you can. Can you see that? I know the camera, the webcam is a little goofy. Hey, Sam. Han, how are you? Alan, great to have you from the East Coast. Pansy, good morning to you. And Patsy, oh man, you guys are really going to get me dizzy. From London. Pablo, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you, my friend. Great to have you in the boot camp, too. Meredith has a question. She is a biologist applying for environmental consulting jobs. but I'm getting turned down because I don't have actual work experience. I've been in grad school for 5 years and have similar experience. Okay, hang on. I see it. How do I convince these companies to at least give me an interview so I can explain to them how I would use my grad experience for these positions? Meredith, common issue. So this, what I'm going to say, and this is not going to be earth-shattering, but it's going to be true. Not everything that's true has to be earth-shattering. But Meredith, who's in grad school, any recent college graduate with your graduate degree, anybody who is returning to the workforce, and anybody who is trying to change careers, when you do not have the requisite experience to compete against somebody who otherwise has 5 years of work experience. So if somebody came out of their bachelor's, got out of college, and has been working for 5 years in environmental consulting, they're going to win out every time. The only way you're going to be able to get in there to get that interview is you can keep trying. That's okay. I don't have a problem with that. But what I would always try first is leveraging your network. And if you're wondering how to do that, I have a host of videos out there on networking, not just good general networking, actual job search networking, and what you need to do from a job searching standpoint when your networking goal is to get your next job. And you have not only do you have that hurdle, but the next hurdle you have is you're trying to break into a new field. So you are going to have to network your way in. You're going to have to get somebody, whether it's a friend or a friend of a friend or a colleague of a colleague or whatever, to route you in so that you've got a little wind at your back going in, and they're open to doing that. Then once you get in there, okay, so you have a get the interview problem, and then you have a sell yourself problem. And on the sell yourself problem, what I would focus on, I would check my job search networking videos for the first problem. For the second problem with the selling yourself, I have a video out there. I have a playlist for career changers, but one video that I want to point you to in particular is when you're a career changer, how to win the interview. And I think I go through like 10 steps. Kara, actually, could you put that in the chat? But I can't remember the exact title, but it's basically how to win how career changers can win the interview in 10 steps or something like that. But if you look at the career changers playlist, it will be in there. And I would watch that for your selling issue. Hope that helps. Ryan, how you doing? I think I had a couple others here that I slipped over. JRE, how are you? Ryan Dempsey, good to see you. Aaron G from Alabama. Avo, great to see you. Let's see, Sam. Yes, I have been hit up by 5 different recruiters and coaches without me knowing how they found me. Hey, thanks, my friend. Thank you. By the way, so back to the talk that we just did. I'm a huge fan of following. So like you all should follow different career coaches. That's totally cool, right? You gotta see who those 9 points, who resonates best with you. And, my personality fits a lot of people. It doesn't fit a lot of people. And, some people like my style, my delivery, and all that good stuff. Some people don't. That's totally okay. I want you guys to find your people. Sometimes I go with trainers that I think might be a little less knowledgeable, but I just like them more. But I love to think that I want to give you the best strategies, the best tactics, the most free stuff, be the most fun to engage with, be there for you. That's what I strive to do. And for me, the joy is in the doing. I just love it. Dan Morris, how are you, my friend? Yes. Evelyn and Dan, there's my beloved boot campers. Myron, how are you? Hey, Myron, thank you. I'm really glad that you enjoyed the Find Your Gift video that came out the other day. I saw those comments. I replied to you. I love that you loved it, and thank you for those overly gushing remarks. Paul, how you doing? Kara, apparently Varun has a question. Hello, Dr. Andy. So, okay, wait. Did you guys... Okay, so Varun read my email this morning, the one we sent out about 3 hours ago, because when I said Dr. LaCivita is here and see how easy that is to falsely advertise yourself, which is true. So yes, that's funny. Haha. All right. Is it a good idea to take awards, thank you card given to you to an interview and accolades you received to set you apart as you put in your book as part of your story? I would not do that. I would not do that. Let me tell you why. If you've got the awards on your resume, that should be good enough, and you could speak to what you did to earn those awards. That's the most important thing. It's too easy for that demonstrative behavior to be misconstrued. And I totally get what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out ways to be different and to be memorable, but you do run the risk of being different and memorable in a bad way. So I'm a fan of very matter-of-fact stuff. And I think, I think it was last week at Live Office Hours and we were talking about one of the bonus tips that I was giving you was about how to, in creating a 90-day plan and as an extra to kind of get you over the top. And I was saying that if you had something like that, instead of just shoving it in somebody's face, you want to be more matter-of-fact about it and explain that, hey, this was something that I did for me, but I have this, I worked out this plan. I feel very good because I did it for me so that I could see what the job might look like over the next 3 months. Would you, I have it. Would you be interested? So that nonchalance, that little more matter-of-fact approach, I think carries better in an interview because you just don't know the people that you're going to be interviewing with, and you don't know if they're just going to think you're so over the top bragging. And I would be a little concerned by that. So I hope that helps. Diana, how are you? And thank you for that, Diana, my boot camper. I love having you in the programs. You are awesome. Actually, multiple programs. Amedio. Hi, Andy. Amedio, Romania, living in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm 48. You're a youngster to me. Everybody's young. I was a successful TV news anchor. I moved to Sweden for a master's program, now looking for a mentor maybe. Well, I am trying to be a good one, and you know who else could be a good mentor to you? That young lady right there, Professor Heather Austin, is also a very wonderful career coach, and I would highly recommend that you all follow her too, and you will not find, present company included, a nicer person who loves job searching and resume writing and interviewing as much as I do, other than Heather. So, Heather, good to see you. Just got done with the gym. Okay, so this is really funny. I don't watch any other trainers except Heather because I just love Heather. And so she did what did you do, 5 days in a row of live training? Actually, if you guys missed the live training, it's probably still on our YouTube channel. And I watched her a couple days. So instead of going outside for my run, I went in my basement and I ran on my treadmill and I put her on my iPad and I was running and watching her as she was breezing through all her coaching. I love it. That's great stuff. You guys should check her channel out. You can never have too many mentors. You really can't if you like them. All right, how do we get you to help place us with a company or let you be our recruiter? Okay, JRE, I know who you are. And I got your email. So folks, and let's go back. Okay, so I am a recruiter. Yes, recruiters. And I would love to refer. And actually, John, I would refer you and everybody else to this. But I also want to explain it a moment here because you brought it up. We just did a session. It was last week. Was not last week, but the week before. Last week was how to beat the internal candidates. That's where I was telling you about that 90-day bonus thing. And then the week before was working with executive recruiters, of which I am still. And John, I would highly recommend you look at that. You look at that Live Office Hours and go through the teaching portion. So the Live Office Hours is probably an hour and a half, but go through the teaching portion. And you have to remember, recruiters work on behalf of companies and they find specific people for jobs. So recruiters do not generally, take on individuals and bring them to market, not usually. And if somebody wants you to pay them to do that, that's a scam. Don't do that. Recruiters work on behalf of organization. They find people for jobs, not jobs for people. So I do not take on people to go and be their recruiter. I have businesses that are my clients that tell me to go get somebody that looks exactly like that, and then we go out and we search for them. What I do for the individuals is a lot of what you're seeing right now, this free and complimentary coaching, as well as that beautiful packet that I slaved over for like 2 months to get to you guys, and all of the training and the coaching. Now, if you are in a situation where you want one-on-one coaching, I have different mediums that you and programs that you can enroll in to help you bring yourself to market, literally teach you everything that you need to do and be with you every step of the way. But it's not finding you a job, it's teaching you how to find the job you want. So I hope that answers your question. I would, before you do anything, before you reach back to us again, I would look at that Working with Executive Recruiters video, because you are it's like I think for like 45 minutes. I don't know how long I rambled on about all the stuff you needed to know. So check that out. Daniel, how are you? Hi, Andrew. This is Daniel from Ottawa. I have 3 additional interviews. Awesome. 1 with the hiring director, 2nd with an SVP, and a 3rd one with the head of HR. They're booked for an hour each. Awesome. Let me see. Can you please tell me what to expect on each one? Should I focus on anything in particular? Daniel, let me just do this. Let's make this really easy. What I would do is I would head to my YouTube channel. I have about 3 or 4 specific videos for executive level interviewing. Now, I don't know what your specific function is, but assuming you're interviewing with fairly high level people there, I would watch my videos on executive level interviewing. I have one that talks about the 12 steps to win the interview. I have other ones where there's three tactics on how to get the senior role. I have some different ones out there on that, but I don't know what you're interviewing for. I don't know what the content of the discussion will be, but tactically, I promise you, those videos that I just mentioned, it will be well worth your time. And especially the one with the 12 steps in it, and it works both sides of the table. It works on fielding your questions, and it works on asking your questions. I would check those out. Davita, how are you? CCC Cranford. You got to tell me your name, man, or gal. Yeah, everybody tell me your name and tell me if I mispronounce your name. It's okay. I don't get embarrassed. I want to call you by the right name. All right, how do we get you to help place us with a company? Oh, man, wait, what did I just... Are you guys like copying each other? JRE and CCCC. Well, I already answered that one. Gary, how are you? Army vet, thank you for your service. And I love to hear that your family is healthy. I know you have had one rough year, my friend. I'm sending you good vibes. Trent Doyle, how are you? Michael Levine, glad to have you here as well. Trent, it is not Tony Robbins. So I love Brendan Burchard, and he's my guy. So he teaches me all things experts related. But what was really interesting is he and I, were exchanging one day about what I was discovering as he was teaching me all this stuff. Is I'm discovering things before he's teaching us, and so I'm having to send him the stuff like, hey, I already figured that out. Whatever you told me was wrong. I figured it out this way. This is working now. And then usually what happens is a couple months later, then he goes and he teaches the group that. But he's awesome and available, and I'm in his marketing program, and I also take one of his self-improvement programs as well. Super dude. Very generous, very available, very highly motivated, and you will love him or he will annoy you. Either way, but I love him. So it's and Tim Toon, Michael Hyatt, I am a fan of. I wish he was more present. He is not as present, and I have, Michael Hyatt, truth be told, I have been on a number of his committees and promotions where I'm working on his behalf to promote his stuff to my community, but also I've been on some of his book launches with Living Forward and 5 Days to Your Best Year Ever, the books that is, and Free to Focus, where I worked on internal committees to help him promote that. And so he is a great guy as well if you are looking for leadership stuff. He's not nearly as available as Brendan Burchard, but that's just Michael's style, and he, Michael has become more removed. Brendan has become more available. But yeah, they're great guys. They're all good dudes. Mike Lowry, how are you? I see you had some things in the Facebook group. I have not gotten a chance to look at it yet, but it sounded like everybody was jumping all over it, and I appreciate that. Johnny Stevens, what? Oh man, look at that! Hold on, this is what I do when you guys wonder where this stuff comes from. I just copied that. Johnny Stevens, Andy's free cut is so good that I was able to use his free YouTube content to land a new job with a 45% raise. Bought the interview intervention book package, small investment. Thank you, my friend. It's just awesome stuff. I'm so happy for you. I appreciate. I appreciate that. By the way, what Johnny is referring to is I have a special that's running that I never advertise. That is this thing here. If you chip in the $7 for the book, it's the $28.95 book. That's what the retail is on Amazon. It'll either be 28 something or it'll be 23 something, but it'll be a lot. And you don't get the ebook, which is $9 on Amazon, and you don't get the audiobook, which is nowhere to be found but on my site. When you do that, when you chip in the $7 for this, you have an option to buy the interview intervention course, which is a series of 30, 40 videos, whatever the heck it is. And it's the online training course for this book. And I also have included in that training one of my boot camp sessions on interviewing. So you get like another 2.5 hour session inside there, and that's $97. And you just click the checkbox, and a lot of people take advantage of that. Otherwise, it's $297. So that's what he's referring to with the book package. And if you already have this book, but you want the course for $97, just email support@malwalk.com. We send you a link to that. We're happy to do it. I want you guys to have this stuff. So, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have to make a little money. Otherwise, I can't do this. All right, best coach will open your eyes in a new way. That is what I said. Yes. Enrique, how are you? And great to have you. And Enrique is a new person in the interview course, I believe. Davita, how are you? Hi, Andy. Does your point about availability also apply to recruiters? It does not. I jumped through hoops. So recruiters, not the same. Remember, and Davita, I'm guessing you probably saw my session on working with recruiters. If you are speaking about executive recruiters, everything I said does not apply. I mean, it applies in a human sort of way, but it's not. I would not be. The recruiters are. You're gonna need to. If you are interacting with executive recruiters, you are going to need to find the right recruiters that gel with you. However, even if you work with a recruiter that you don't absolutely love, if that recruiter has a job through one of his or her clients that you absolutely love, that's what matters. So the all the tenets that I took you through today, the 9 of them, I don't know that necessarily applies to that. And Johnny's clarifying that, and it's true. And Kara was on her game. And actually, you know what? I'm missing I had the toggle timestamps on there. All right. Hey from India too. Melanie. You know what, Melanie? I'm glad you said this. I pulled this out of the talk for sake of speed today. But Melanie Newbies is asking, do you recommend a combination of in-person and web coaches? Of course, right? So when the reason I didn't spend a lot of time today talking about in-person mentors is because I think that organizations that force a mentorship and protege relationship, I don't believe that really works. I think you discover mentors naturally through building relationships, through working together, and those kinds of things. And I think that is more of an individual very unique situation. And if you are fortunate enough to have those types of in-person people that you can meet with, God bless you. Okay, I love it. If you can, that's one. Two is I don't think mentors in that capacity are necessary. I think that you need to go and learn on your own and get the advice and take advantage of what's available and what you learn. And just like I take courses and those kind of things. But a lot of, we talked about Brendan Burchard. Man, I spent 1,000 hours over a course of a few years digesting all of his stuff, and I still had to revamp a lot of it. So 25% of what he said works in my capacity this way. And then I had to clean it all up, but he gave me a foundation. So, and now I interact with him in a completely different fashion. So, and he's a web coach or he's an online, and I go to his seminars and those kind of things. But I'm assuming you're talking about somebody you sit down with, you have coffee with, you have dinners with, breakfast with, and those kind of things. If you can have them, awesome. That's fantastic. But that's great if you have the luxury of being able to build a relationship with somebody who you love and trust and can learn from. But not everybody can. Not everybody just has that luxury. Not everybody works for those types of companies where sometimes these are natural fallouts, or even if you part ways with companies, you still stay in touch with people, your old bosses, those kind of people. But yeah, all of that stuff is good if you can. Keith, how are you? All right. Steven Seiler, how are you? You bet it should be. And thank you for that. Oh, yeah, you know what? I'm really a Midwestern boy at the core. I really am. All right, let's see. Where are we? Ooh. Evelyn? Yes. Thank you. You're welcome. DeVita. CEO of a staff search firm reached out to me about a 3-year contract op. That's long. Not too happy about the time spent being available for him. Would I be out of line diplomatically expressing this in an email? Don't do that. I would never recommend that. And by the way, so number one, if you are not happy with the time spent where he was available, I don't know what the entire situation was. And the CEO, him or her, you said him, himself, probably had other people also helping him. I would never recommend somebody who you've interacted with live, and even if it was not as much as you wanted, but you did interact live, I would never expressing that. I would never express it, even if you consider it to be diplomatic, in an email. It's too easy for him to misconstrue what you're saying, and I also think that it's better said live on the phone, meaning just that so he can, your lips to his ears, so that he completely understands how you feel. And you can clarify if he misunderstands. In an email, then you start going back and forth. I don't love that. Let me see. And then, hang on, I'm getting the clarification. Clarify for Andy that the CEO I've mentioned is one and the same, the one who chased me down, the one for whom I jumped through hoops. Same thing. Same thing here. Same response. Daniel Morris, thank you. And I appreciate that. And I spent a lot of time on that thing. And it's not a sales document or anything. It's just this catalog, folks. I'm doing everything humanly possible to make your lives easier. And every time I get questions, where can I find this? When are you live? When are you this and that? So all of the things that you tell me, this is like being live, being available, being with you is why we do all these things, because you tell us what you need. Now, we think of stuff on our own, but it's, and nobody has to give us their email for that. It just, you can just take it and, use it. And then we'll update it from time to time when I have new stuff. But, we're doing everything we can to make all your lives easier and better. And that's what it's all about. Steven, you're welcome, and I love to hear that. By the way, you make the world a better place, one improved interview at a time. Do not ever, thank you, do not, any of you, do not ever minimize the wonderful impact that remarks like that and emails like that and LinkedIn messages like that and trainers need that. Coaches need that. This is a very, and I don't know if Heather's still here. This is a very hard job. I mean, I've run multi-zillion dollar businesses, units, consulted to very large Fortune 50 companies, done all kinds of stuff. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. And there's so many things that go into making this happen. Those remarks are well received. They mean a ton, and they provide the person that to me looks darn genuine. It really fuels us, and it picks us up when we get tired and when we're wondering, what do I do next? Seeing that stuff is really important because we don't always get that feedback. It goes out, but it doesn't always come back. We're not always getting the feedback of what of what you're experiencing. What we generally get a lot of is negative feedback. Somebody's unhappy, right? I didn't get my job. I didn't know what to do. Your advice didn't work. Your whatever. So believe me, those are very, very welcome, and I really appreciate it. James, great to have you whenever you join. Johnny, that's you. Okay, I knew it. Love. Okay, I got it, man. I got it. It's in there. It's just right. It's in the queue. It's there. I look at it almost daily. It's kind of funny. Thanks, Kathleen. Hey, Sal. It is sunny in Chicago. Oh, man. Yeah, what? You get, Kathleen, you get one lousy day. All right. Hey, let me try to get a few more of these in because I got to jump here in a few minutes. Enrique Dallas joined. You did join. I know. I saw you that, man, and giving you hope. Great. Good to hear it. All right. Jen Trizzle, 87. Question. After job interviewing, a hiring manager offered to be a mentor instead of offering a job. I think I saw this one another week. Why would one do that? I do not know. It sounds kind of weird to me. And how can I trust this person if they didn't hire me? So I'm going to just give you some feelings with very limited information, obviously. I don't know. So first off, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. And I don't know if, this is a creepy situation, like you're of the opposite sex. A job offered to be your mentor and you didn't use, you're using theys and so I don't know if you're a woman and this is a man, this man is a woman. Any of that stuff's possible. It's weird to me that somebody would do that because if I liked you so much in my hiring process that I wanted to be your mentor, I would have hired you. That's me. So I don't know what that is. I'm not really sure. I'd love to know. I kind of like to know, and I don't know if it was a long and lengthy process. And it's weird that somebody would say, I want to be your mentor. It's different if you said to that person, hey, would you mind if we stayed in touch? Because while I'm bummed I didn't get the job, I'd love to learn from you. If it was going the other direction, that wouldn't bother me. But that's a little weird. It is. I only know this much information, but that's kind of a weird thing. Diana is a boot camper. Enrique, what can I do for you? I have a question. I am an IT professional looking for a job and find it difficult sometimes to match all the technical requirements. Sometimes I feel they ask for a guru on everything. They always do. And when the interview comes, they ask me things on so many different things that it's hard to keep up. In technology, you specialize. That's true. How do you handle a question where you don't know 100% of the answer? And Enrique, it is in Interview Intervention. You have the book. It is in Chapter 6, the Silver Bullet Interview chapter. It is question number 10. That's exactly how I want you to respond. There's 3 parts to the answer. Just go get that. Just go get that. Question number 10, how do you educate yourself? That's ultimately the response you want to give them. All right. James, let me see if I can get this one in here, and then maybe Deb Peters. Question, how much of a decrease in pay is reasonable without raising eyebrows to the new organization? 14-year gap, consulting trying to get back into a much higher paying supply chain. That there's James, I would love to give you a percentage. I would not think in terms of reasonable pay cut without raising eyebrows. I would be thinking about, is that a job I want at that rate based on all the things that you have going on in your life, the fact that you have a gap, you want to get back, and so forth. All the parameters have to feed that to make the stew. So I don't know what that number is. I will tell you this. I have an article out there on 7 opportunities worth of pay cut. It's on my blog. If you go to the Malawak Academy, hit the blog, it'll take you there, and read that article. 7 opportunities worth a pay cut. And that's how I would consider it if it's one of those. And then I know you asked about what's a reasonable amount. That reasonable amount is defined by you. All right, Deb Peters, how are you? Thanks for the coaching tip. You are welcome. Any tips on finding the right mentor inside our company? Interestingly enough, Deb, and I don't know if you work from home a lot, or sometimes I know you work from home. So what I do is I would go about it almost. So a lot of those points I gave you when you're evaluating somebody online, a lot of those will apply if you are in person. I would start with, so if I'm you and I'm looking inside my company, I'm probably going to see the intersection of the people I can find that I can relate to, that I feel comfortable talking to, that I feel is knowledgeable and is in the alignment of the career path that I want to go. Okay, so I had a mentor, really like just 2 mentors in my life. I haven't had one in since I was in my 20s. But this guy, he was a senior guy to me, and I was with him for a while, and then he went and he was doing other things, but we still stayed together because he was kind of in alignment of where I wanted to go, and I really liked him, and he taught me a lot. That you have to have that intersection. So those 4 or 5 things I just gave you, that's how I would look at it. But if I don't, just because somebody's there and they're my boss or my boss's boss, or just because they're in alignment with where I want to go in my career, doesn't necessarily mean I want them as a mentor, because I really need to like them. And by the way, your mentor, that should be like a judge-free zone. It should be a safe place. They should have that coaching mentality. Like, they should want to give freely. You shouldn't have to keep pulling it all the time. It should be natural. They shouldn't be pushing it on you. It should be done in a manner where you want to receive it. So, for me, I look for all of those things. But when you talk about like, how do I find the right mentor? I think there's natural places to look, and that's how I would do that. And I would look for that intersection. I hope that helps. I hope that wasn't too vague. All right, folks, I have got to go. 12:02. I'm back here next week. If you are, we got the boot camp tomorrow and another session for the boot camp at the end of May, toward the end of May. It's next Friday, next 2 Fridays. We got 1 in June, 3 in July, 2 in August, squished together. So you got a lot of live coaching if you get in the boot camp. You'll get your new video on Tuesday. You get the live office hours on Thursday. I'll be here. If you're ever wondering where I am, check out the calendar and grab the catalog. Or you can always go to the Malawak Academy, and it's really a handy guide. You can load it on your computer, and then you can have it there and just pull it up and access what you need. All right, folks, I got to run. If I did not get to your question and you need help, just move it into the comments. And I will, I know it's Memorial Weekend, but I'm going to be working all weekend. So I'm going to be doing my best to answer your questions and doing some other stuff to build for you so I could go traveling in June. All right. You guys be great. I love having you as my community, and I hope this helped.